Welcome to 2025 then, and it is ALR Season 12. 60 drivers and 3 champions are going to be crowned. Sadly, we don't have a 4th championship this year, of course, with the event league, as we've split it down, as we've cut it down to 3 leagues then. And this is my favourite time of year, Alex. I say it all the time. I love the wheel. I love the driver draw. I think that we should just do one every week, but welcome along.
Yes, welcome to 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. Of course, we've got a very short season this time for Season 12, getting it sorted and out of the way then before the end of April even. So I think it's probably the quickest finish we've ever had, but I'm not going to talk too much about quick finishes. Yeah, looking forward to the second season, the final season, of course, for F1 24 in ALR, that is, and of course 2025 and what it will bring as well. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So when you say a short season, then how many rounds is up then? And how different is it going to be in terms of challenges? We did speak about this in the review, but then it was been confirmed, hasn't it, since then? So how many rounds have we got this year?
16, if my math is correct. I can't remember now. But hopefully it will pop up on screen, or we've had it on screen already. Yeah, of course, it's going to be not a short and sweet season. It's still 16 rounds, but it's a shortest and sweetest of ALR seasons. Yeah, overall, I think it's just going to be a pretty interesting event, because, of course, we've got the new Mystery Grand Prix as well.
And how are they working then, Alex? How is that going to impact the races then? Do you want to explain a bit more about the Mystery Grand Prix?
I'm trying to work out myself, but yes, basically, well, of course, the best example is for round 4, for example, we've got the choice, or the track choice, that it will be either Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, or Miami. Effectively, the track will be drawn on stream when we start the stream, so there's no no idea. Well, there's going to be an idea. It's going to be one of those 3 tracks, I should say, for round 4. The idea is that it brings a bit of spice then to the calendar, of course, and of course shortens the calendar as well, so that we only have the 16 rounds, but also to make it a bit more interesting as well, and of course see how people fare then with the with the sort of lack, I suppose you could say, of a consistent calendar as well. But it'll be quite interesting to see how it unfolds, I suppose you could say.
That's going to be very interesting. And I feel sorry for the commentators that are going to have to spin that wheel before we get going. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Lol. Anyway, so that is very interesting stuff. And yeah, 16 rounds, in which I remember when I first started watching F1, that there only used to be about 16 rounds anyway in a season. So I think that's absolutely perfect stuff indeed then. And looking forward to that as well. Of course, those wheels are going to be very interesting indeed then. We've introduced the wheels right into the season as well, because that's just because how much we love these Wheel of Fortunes. It's absolutely fantastic. We've got 60 drivers and we've got a draw in just a few moments, and we'll get on with it because we've got quite a long list to get through. But I'm just taking a look at the grids now, Alex, and we got some very interesting dynamics that potentially could be rolled out here. Then of course, looking forward, I'm quite eager about silver this season, because it's a who's who of world champions in ALR. We've got a mixture of gold, silver, and bronze champions in silver. Of course, silver sometimes has been probably one of the more difficult championships to fill up. But is there anything that's catched your eye over the grid so far?
I'm going to win gold. It's my time. And of course, the other thing that's definitely caught my eye is a Ginger Rage entering the grid for bronze. So good luck, bronze. I'm not going to foreshadow your season already, but Ginger Rage is going to be part of it, so watch out. Is all I can say. But no, I think, like I said, overall, I think all 3 grids are really strong. Some really good drivers. Well, all of them, in my opinion, are good drivers in all 3 divisions. And looking forward to seeing maybe some new faces as well that jumped into the available free seats. A few spotted around in all 3 divisions. But I have to say a massive thank you, as I said in the Discord as well, a massive thank you to the drivers who've kept on racing from last season as well, then, because I think this is the best season in terms of the least amount of seats we had to fill then for for a new season as well for ALR, which is first time in well, not the first time, but the best time so far, let's just say, in the first 12 seasons. So thank you very much to all the drivers who are going to be participating for season 12.
That is brilliant sum up, and then we're now going to get on to the driver draw itself, and I'm just quickly making sure that I'm in the right facility. I am indeed then, Alex. So yes, this is the best part about Formula One, I think, is the driver draw itself, albeit I've just turned my stats book into a graph somehow, so that's good, isn't it? But anyway, first off is the bronze driver draw then, Alex, and I actually was going to, I had everything all prepared, and now I've broken my start sheet, so we're going to have to go through this kind of cap in hand kind of thing. By the way, thank you very much, Equals, for my cap. Of course, you know, I'm sporting all that kind of stuff and all that jazz. First one off the wheel, though, if I can get me old Specsavers out, is it's Dan Dan. Of course, Dan Dan was challenging for the championship last season, and I would say that Dan Dan potentially could be the favourite for bronze. Then I would hazard a guess. Then, but of course, we all know about my about my record of predicting things, because that goes absolutely horribly wrong, doesn't it? But Dan Dan is first off the wheel. We haven't got the team yet. Second one off the board is, well, he's a journeyman of ALR, is the vintage, the most experienced driver in ALR bronze history. I think he's got over 104, 105 Grand Prix starts now. The 10 teams that raced in last season are still going to be the 10 teams this season. And yeah, I'm wondering which driver said is going to be concerned about which team and all that jazz. And the first team off the wheel is the Alpine team. Well, Dan Dan stays in the French team, Alex.
Yes, so Dan Dan stays where he is, and Vintage is off to France for a visit then to to see Alpine as well. So a fantastic lineup indeed. Of course, like I said, Dan Dan then had a very good season. Maybe struggled towards the end of it, I suppose you could say, compared to the others, his title rivals. And Vintage, of course, ever present then, ever consistent, and the super fan as well then. So fantastic lineup indeed for Alpine.
Yeah, brilliant good stuff indeed. And look at that, Mr. Elite, who has just dropped down from silver to go to bronze now. Of course, Mr. Elite has been I say journeyman about vintage, but Mr. Elite has been exactly the same. Albeit he's been all over the place, hasn't he, Mr. Elite? Has been gold, silver, and now he's in bronze then. And Mr. Elite then, remember, he was third in the championship in season 4 or season 5 of ALR Gold. So that's a pretty big name then. And Hungry Stars, we talk about vintage being a journeyman. Stars is also ever present as well then. Mr. Elite and Hungry Stars then, I think that's a very good competitive team that is then. We'll talk about that in a bit more depth in a minute, but before we do, what team is off the wheel? It is the Haas team. I love a good Haas. Alex, I think that for that team then, now it does depend on how well Mr. Elite goes, and Stars returning back to the American team, he seems to live there.
Well, it's the same as Mushroom then a few seasons ago in bronze as well, wasn't it? But no, Mr. Elite then looking to kickstart a good season as well. I'm sure he will do in the Haas, and of course Hungry Styles staying where he was, looking to. I think he's got a new wheel now, so looking to bounce back then from a bit of a difficult season last season as well.
Look at the devil when he appears. Serious Mushroom then is the next guy off the wheel. And of course, I wonder if I'll be his teammate then. Of course, I've been taking the mick out of us being teammates after our year in the 100%. Sadly for Mushroom, that's not going to be the case. But however, what is better for Mushroom is he's got a Grand Prix winner amongst them as well. Serious Mushroom has not won a Grand Prix in bronze before, but Winnie has won one and possibly should have won two, to be fair. And I remember that race in Azerbaijan where he was absolutely flying. I don't think they're going to be Constructors Champions, Alex, but I do feel that is going to be, I think, a top 3 team or top 4 team in the Constructors for bronze then. Would you agree?
I definitely think so. I think they might be able to go further than your expectations even and go for the title. We'll have to wait and see, but a very good lineup then indeed for Aston Martin, then Mushroom and Winnie.
They certainly are indeed then. Of course, Mushroom had 4 podiums last season. Winnie only 1 podium, but remember, Winnie only raced 12 times last season. And he does have flashes of brilliance, doesn't he, Winnie does? Next off the board, I'm really interested in this young gentleman here, Corey Brennan then, because I feel that Corey then stepping up from a reserve role to a full-time seat. And like Winnie, he had flashes of brilliance as well, Corey Brennan did. And I'm really excited to see what he can do. Well, actually, I'm not excited because I'm driving this year, aren't I? So as a pundit, I'm excited. excited, Alex. Do I call myself a pundit? I probably shouldn't, really. As a fan, I'm excited, but as a competitor, I'm not really excited. I'm not excited about either two, actually, to be fair. Rocket Lee and Brennan, I must say that could be a very interesting team. And of course, Rocket Lee, I'm going to predict. I don't want to give the commentators curse, but I'm going to predict that Rocket Lee is going to be a Grand Prix winner this season and driving for the Williams team.
Yeah, formidable stuff indeed. I think, like you said, Corey, then when he stepped in towards the end of last season in as a reserve, of course, to try and get his full-time seat has been brilliant. And, of course, Rocket Lee, then we know what he's got there. He just needs to unleash that potential. And, well, we've seen some fantastic performances already in bronze from Rocket Lee, so a formidable lineup then for Williams.
Yeah, getting a couple of pole positions as well last season. Rocket Lee is, can he convert that into race-winning form then? Real Ashton then, driver of the season for me last season, kept plugging away. Real Ashton is there, and I feel that the top 10 finish for Real Ashton is certainly on the cards for this season. And he did a really good job for the Williams team last season, and only 3 DNFs as well in a season of 24 races. That's pretty immense stuff indeed. And former runner-up in Dynamo Dan then. Dynamo Dan, he started to get back to his best, I felt, in Abu Dhabi, but there's still something missing then. Do you think that Dynamo Dan, though, can reach back to where he used to be before, of course, as a former runner-up in this championship?
Probably can then without my race engineership, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. But there we go, teaming up in the Red Bull then for Ashton and for Dynamo Dan.
That's a pretty good team, that is, and I am expecting points from Ashton this season. And Dynamo Dan, then, I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I do feel good things are coming Dynamo Dan's way this season. Certainly are indeed that. Of course, remember last season, the two Dans, I thought they would be Constructors Champions. Sadly, that didn't materialise, so that just shows how much I know. Jennant is off the wheel. Jennant only doing 10 Grand Prix last season, but he did step in, I think, at the final couple of races then for I think it's the RB team, wasn't it? In the end, the worst name in F1 team in history, which ain't great, is it? And off the board to be his teammate is Duncan Dave, who missed the final several races or so then, but it's great to see Duncan Dave back in as well. Remember, Duncan Dave, I think very similar to Dynamo Dan, because when he first broke into the scene in bronze, I remember him getting on the podium and potentially getting a Grand Prix win in Spa. What I like about these random wheels is that we get some very interesting team lineups, and that Ferrari is certainly one of the most interesting ones off the wheel so far.
Yeah, looking good indeed then for the Scarlet Ferrari, of course, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see then how they're going to fare. Like I said, good to have Duncan Dave, or Ducanco, or however you pronounce his name, back alongside Casey, who of course I think he stepped in about halfway through last season from reserve, and then of course got to his full-time seat as well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that pairing fares.
And I forgot to mention, Jennings had a Grand Prix win as well. Shocking stuff indeed. Smithy Almighty. I think the Smithy Almighty is, last 2 years, has been fourth in the championship and potentially could have and should have been promoted. Has had, I think, a couple of Grand Prix wins as well over the last 2 seasons. And so surely Smithy Almighty has to be in there for a championship campaign, surely. And who is going to be his teammate then for Smithy Almighty? It is going to be Luke. Ooh. Constructors Champions as early contenders, I would say, for that team, Alex.
Well, the question is if you've commentator cursed them as well already. But the question also is can Smithy go one more from P4 then and get himself into the top 3 then for the drivers? That is, we'll have to wait and see. They're going to be pairing up in the green machine then, which is the Kick Sauber then. Fantastic stuff indeed.
Great stuff indeed then for the Kick Sauber. Then sadly we've got Kick Sauber for the next 3 seasons then. But I don't believe in commentators curse, Alex. But I do think that Luke is a Grand Prix winner, and Smithy Almighty won 2 Grand Prix wins last year. That is surely got to be candidate for Constructors Champions, or at least in the mixer. Ashton John then, who I think has dropped down from silver into bronze then. I think Ashton John had a really good accountability of himself, especially in the 100%, I remember. And they did a good job in silver as well. And so I feel that Real Ashton is going to be a major threat for certainly regular points scoring finishes, and maybe even a podium or 2 as well. And who is that? Oh gosh, that's Jinner. I thought that was me, to be honest, Alex. Just shows how bad my eyes are. Jinner is off the board next, and Jinner struggled with tyres last season, didn't he? Jinner did. He only got a Grand Prix, but he did have 11 pole positions there. But he needs to get that race form sorted out.
Yeah, it's Astrojohn then to start off with, as definitely eyes deceiving you there. And Gina then, like I said, is going to be one of the candidates, I think, for top 3 spot in the Drivers' Championship potentially. Hopefully I haven't cursed in there as well. Lining up then for McLaren.
Sorry, After John. Shocking stuff indeed. I'm 35, 36 this year, so I just might need to just get a bigger screen. I think this mobile phone, I might have to get a big old tablet going forward. Anyway, enough about me poor in eyesight. I can definitely see this man, Slayer. Jake the Slayer only one podium, of course, in that incredible Austrian Grand Prix last season. Slayer hasn't really reached his best form since that Grand Prix winning out a few seasons ago, unfortunately for Slayer. Hopefully he can get himself back in the mix, but has struggled the past couple of seasons then. And oh gosh, well, Alex, this is obviously my pick for champion of the season. It's me. Goodness me.
Yes, what a champion. Right, Jake the Slayer's going to be doing all the work then for, for whichever team this is, but yes, there we go then. Unfortunately for Jake the Slayer, I think Ginger Rage already owes you an apology. So there we are, and you're going to be looking like it's going to be the Racing Ball team then for yourself and Jake the Slayer then. Sean, how do you feel about that?
I'm devastated. Not about the Slayer as a teammate. What a crap team to have. Okay. Never mind. Well, don't worry, Slayer. We did like the RB anyway. Gosh, I'm going to be clashing with Helmut Marko, I think, a lot. Especially if I have my points return like I did in McLaren last year. I think I only scored 10% compared to Serious Mushrooms 90. Never mind. Sorry, Slayer. You man, bro. Returning back to the Formula, which is really good stuff indeed. And I'm sure that you man, bro, has had really good success in the past of ALR. And LB, who unfortunately didn't get a points finish last season. But I must say that is going to be very interesting. I'm very much, no disrespect to LB, it would be good to see LB get some points up. I'm looking forward to see where you man, bro, if he can kick on from where he left off, because he is a former Grand Prix winner, a couple of time Grand Prix winner in bronze.
Yeah, looking like I said, a team that's on a bit of a learning curve, let's just say. But of course, LP's had his first year of experience in bronze as well, so now knows what to do and how to get those points, of course. And he was very close indeed then last season. And of course, the last team off the wheel for those two is the Mercedes, that is, as we go through the final team then for bronze.
Yeah, you mad, bro, and LB then looking forward to that then. So can LB get some points on the board then? And there are the runners and riders. There are the heroes then for bronze this season, and that is looking pretty stacked, isn't it? I would. I want to make a prediction, Alex. You know I do. I don't like sitting on the fence, but I feel that
age for champion.
It certainly is. I think if I don't win all the rounds, then I'm going to be disappointed. On a serious note, I do feel that Smithy Almighty and Luke is going to be superb stuff. It's going to be a superb team, difficult to beat, I think. And but let's see how it goes, because race is not won on paper. On to silver now, and I keep forgetting I'm on camera, Alex, so I keep wiping my nose. So hopefully we can cut that out. So it's anyway, let's get on with this one, shall we? Shocking. Right, Vest here is first off the board. Vest racing 24 Grand Prix starts last season, 24 out of 24. Fantastic stuff there from Vessier, and a really good end to the season as well. I think 3 podiums as well for Vessier. Can he be able to be a championship rival? I think he needs to get a win first, and can he do it? Potentially. Farfay, a top 3 in the championship in the not last season, the season before, but he had a pretty shocking season, Farf did, which I must say I thought was quite funny. But from a neutral point of view, I think that Favre, if he can get back to where he was before, I think that Favre might be a outside contender for the top 3. I don't think he's a championship contender just yet, and he is driving the Williams team as well.
Yeah, Vessier, one of the consistent pack then that were just outside the top 4, or top 3 really for Silver last season. Teaming up then for Williams then with Favre, so I'm not quite sure if Vessier's going to be happy with that, or Favre's going to be happy with that, but there you go, stuck with it.
I'm sure they clashed a couple of times at 100% as well, so that's going to be quite interesting, isn't it? I'm looking forward to that partnership. Kai Dao next off the board. Kai Dao, hats off to Kai Dao. He had a very difficult season, I feel, Kai Dao did. Unfortunately, not getting any points then, but really stuck with it. And hats off to him as well. I would take my hat off, but I'll knock my headset off, and then it took me half an hour to get on. But Kai Dao, really good stuff indeed last season, but I feel that can he go one better and get some points this season? I think that has to be the minimum target for Kai Dao, and I've missed who was that second person off the board, Alex. I apologise.
Reflection.
Oh, thank you very much. And that's no reflection on reflection. The 24 Grand Prix starts as well last season for reflection. Of course, has never missed a Grand Prix in a very long time and only missed one Grand Prix as a whole last season. And they'll be driving the Haas team, which does get maligned a bit today, but like I say, I've got a soft spot for Haas. Maybe because I don't know, because they're the underdog potentially. But a very good team. I think that's going to really now potentially could be top half of the constructors, Alex.
I love it in the Haas, but yes, I think they can crack on from last season and go for more.
R2 Beat next off the board. Championship contender? I'm going for it. Championship contender, I reckon, for R2B. His consistency has been pretty good. Of course, he did very well in 100% before when the admin stole his car off him, and he did struggle after that. But I think R2B, I am going to say it now, that could potentially be a championship contender. And another driver, actually, maybe I've changed my pick. A Grand Prix winner in 7 races last season and 2 podiums as well for Nameless. That is Constructors Champions. I'm putting it here now, Alex.
Well, unfortunately for R2B and Nameless, they've been cursed. But they are going to be in the Aston Martin then. And, of course, had some successes last season then. Did Aston Martin for silver. So looking forward to seeing how they can take to the track then for Season 9.
Indeed, I can't believe it's season 9 of silver. It doesn't feel right, does it? Gosh, we're getting too old for this. Next, so the wheel then is spinning around again. Next off is Lewis Riley. I don't think Lewis Riley had a fair crack at the whip in silver last season. He had 2 fastest laps, did Riley, but I feel that going forward next season, this will be his first full season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Lewis Riley can do there. We'll probably I reckon we'll threaten the podium every once in a while as well. And of course, this is one of the champions I was talking about. This is why I was so excited about silver, because look at the names that come off the board already. We've got so many more big names to come. Delando, former bronze champion, did not do so well in gold then. Do you think that's going to be a hangover for Delando going into the season of silver?
No, I think he'll get his head down and crack on then and bounce back then, but just had a bit of a difficult season, of course, like you said, in gold last season. And yeah, we'll see how he's going to fare in the Alpine team then, that is, with a lovely French and pink livery, of course. And Lewis Riley then looking to add to his tally then from his first few outings in silver last season as well.
Albeit they will not be using Renault engines going forward in 2026, so, anyway, enough about that. Mr. Raging Bull, horror show of a season last season, and let's not make no bones about it, Mr. Raging Bull did struggle last season, and a driver of his talents, I feel that will probably be not looking back on that season with too much fondness. Of course, a pole position, a memorable pole position in Monza a few seasons ago, and Camera Racer, one of the most improved drivers of last season, a Grand Prix winner as well with 3 podiums there. That consistency, I think, still very much eludes Camera Racer, but he was very much vastly improved compared to seasons gone by, Alex, there. And I think they're in the Mercedes, aren't they? They are in the Mercedes. Ooh, I don't like to predict this one, Alex, because I'm not sure. It depends on how both drivers really kick on.
Like I said, fantastic performances then from Kamara Racer last season as well. Really much improved then from his pretty disastrous season, the previous season as well. Then, so maybe the same can repeat for Raging Bull then, and he can bounce back just like Kamara did as well. We'll have to wait and see. That could be a good pair in Mercedes.
This has got my blood pumping. It's Brooksy, of course, bronze champion. Sadly, couldn't race much in silver last season. I don't think he raced at all. I think he raced once or twice in silver last season. But Brooksy now taking the step up into silver. So I'm looking forward to see what Brooksy can do. But I wonder if that race, that season on the sideline, may have made him a bit rusty. And another driver is coming from bronze as well. Potentially was unlucky not to win the championship last season for Marsky. But my goodness me, I think that he had a great season last season. I feel that he's very much coming of age.
Yeah, and again, another driver who massively improved then, and like I said, took the title fight all the way to the final Grand Prix of the season after 24 rounds then. And Brooksy, of course, a former bronze champion, so those two know how to win races and how to compete at the top of the field. Now in the Kick Sauber then, of course, so looking to be very bright in green then for Brooksy and for Marsky as well.
let's just say they could kick on. They got two very good peddlers there. Up next off the board is Irvine. Terrible, I know. It's the size of things to come. Irvine next off the board. Then I feel that Irvine is a driver that's it's there or thereabouts, but I do feel there's a breakout season coming. I thought it might have been last year, but I'm going to put my money on it. That I reckon it could be this year now for Irvine. He didn't have many starts last season, only 14. So, but with this being a shorter season, then that potentially might be in his favour. And Gordo, of course, the highest finisher in this grid then for this season for Gordo, and of course a Grand Prix winner as well. But can Gordo use that incredible consistency to maybe be champion of silver then? And he's driving in that Ferrari as well, Alex.
Yeah, fantastic season as well. Then for two divisions, of course, for Gordo, both competing in the top three for different championships as well. Then Ferrari, then for him and for Irvine as well. Like I said, another candidate, then another team for you to maybe put in the top of your wish list for constructors title. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, only one constructor can win, can't they, really? I think I've already predicted about 4 or 5. Kiki, ooh, I'm not sure. Kiki, I feel if on his day, Kiki is one of the fastest drivers in this field. They had 6 pole positions last season. Of course, was a part of that incredible Mercedes domination of pole positions last season. Personally, Alex, I kind of hope there'd be a bit more variety in qualifying this season. Nigel, former silver champion, former gold champion, the first ever ALR champion as well. Okay, I've changed my pick, Alex. That is my constructors champion right there.
Right, then that's 6 out of the total 10. So there we are. But I think you're almost up to 8 now, because there you go, lining up in McLaren then for Nigel then, and of course for Kiki. Then Kiki was P4 in the title, in the Drivers' Championship last season, so looking to kick on then for that top 3. And Nigel then hopefully can get a bit more consistency under his belt then and get some results then for the Papaya McLaren.
Yeah, I feel Nigel, like Boxtal in gold, just had a really off season, and I do feel he's going to come back stronger. Why do I say that? I have no idea. I just got it. I got a feeling in me ginger locks. Kian off the board next. Kian, of course, a champion from bronze. Of course, him and Marsky moving up together, and the 2 rivals in bronze, and now going to be 2 rivals in silver. It'd be interesting to see how those drivers from bronze to silver go. And talking of going from bronze to silver, and did a very good job last season as well. Jay Hings there. I said at the beginning at the end of last season, Alex, I think that Jay Hings could be my pick for the championship. I'm going to stick by that prediction there. But you, as an expert analysis of silver, what do you think about that?
Not expert in anything, to be fair, but like I said, we'll repeat almost of Kian and Marsky, then a champion, then and a runner-up then from bronze in previous seasons as well. Then for Kian, of course, last season's champion in bronze, and with Jay Hings, the runner-up for bronze previous season, looking fantastic indeed. Then for Red Bull, then unfortunately I'm going to have to put them as my constructors champions in that case. So sorry, Sean, you're wrong.
I've made a note of that mentally, so we'll bring that up at the end. Smith Almighty, make sure you've got that noted down. Who's out of the? Oh, Justify off the board next, and Justify. My heart went out to Justify in the 100%. I think of Qatar. He was so close to getting a point there. Very unlucky in the end. Of course, unfortunately, I remember Qatar for all different reasons, mainly because of my 45-second penalty. Meteronov, and I'm going to have a lot of fun saying their name, because I always have fun saying names, don't I? And they'll be driving in the RB along with me and Slayer then. So obviously I'm going to have my alliance pinned to this car for silver then. But Alex, I feel that there's a lot of untapped potential in that team. Maybe dark horses for the season.
Yeah, I think two of the most consistent in terms of the reserve appearances last season. Of course, Justify was also full time in 100%, and looking to see if they can take the Racing Bull racing to the top.
Indeed. By the way, I really wish that they were called Racing Bulls this season, because it's so much better than RB, isn't it? I hate the name RB. It's so rubbish, isn't it? Maybe if we just race in Italy all season, then there might be all right. And now on to gold then, Alex. Do I call it the main event? Because that's kind of that's putting shade on our silver and bronze drivers, really, isn't it? But of course, gold, the top championship of ALR, and we've got a double champion, of course, for the first time on the grid since Emerson back in season 6 or season 7. And my goodness goodness me, it's a who's who of Grand Prix racing, isn't it, here in ALR? And I've forgotten to put my stat book up, so this is going to get fun, isn't it? I'm going to have to use my memory now. First off the board, though, it is Menace, and he was a bit of a menace in the opening stage of the season last season. Of course, a Grand Prix winner. He was the only new Grand Prix winner of ALR Gold last season there for Menace, and kind of was in no man's land there. Maybe can kick on then, and a driver who had a absolute horror show of a season with, of course, Boxtel was always second or third in the championship until last season. It was appalling for Boxtel, but he could potentially turn it around. Like I said with Nigel, I think that he could potentially turn that around. And do you think the Menace can step up and challenge Sam Swift Ninja for the championship?
Yeah, I think it'll be exciting to see what Menace is going to be like then for his first full season as well. And of course, he did a fantastic job then in the Gold Championship last season. Of course, Geordie then I think has fixed his wheel issues then for Team Mercedes as well. Then that's going to be a fantastic lineup indeed, as Menace, Max then and Geordie then for Mercedes. Then, but yeah, Geordie thinks fixed his wheel issues now and can crack on, hopefully having a good season under his belt.
All in good seasons, and Immortal, what a drive last season. He was my personal driver of the season, and how could I say that with Sam Swift Ninja being absolutely incredible last season? It's kind of a stretch, really, isn't it? But it just shows how much I changed my mind. But Immortal, two-time Grand Prix winner, 6 pole positions, 8 podiums. I feel Immortal, potential, do you reckon he has more untapped potential than Menace Max for challenging the championship? I'll answer that question in a minute. And Equals said, ever consistent then, Equals. There's 22 starts last season, only missed 1 race last season, which was at the Abu Dhabi race set. But going back to Immortal, Alex, do you think that Immortal has a bigger chance of challenging Sam Swift for that championship?
I think both of them are going to be contenders for sure. I think there's going to be quite a few contenders, let's just say that. But no, both Menace Max and Immortal have done fantastically well last season. I think Immortal then one of the most improved as well for season 11, that is. In the Alpine team they will be, of course, the lovely pink machine. Immortal then and Equaz. Equaz, of course, a very consistent driver as well then. So maybe that team will be looking to put themselves in some loftier heights.
I do think so as well. I think when you have Equals in the team, you're guaranteed to be in the top 5 of the constructors, or certainly scoring quite big in every single race. Because I think Equals basically scored in almost every race. So I think he had a bit of a blip in Qatar, didn't he? Cass off the board next, and it's great to see Cass returning back to Grand Prix race then. And I feel that Cass a great qualifier, but unfortunately in the races it didn't go too well. Marky being a full-time driver again as well, which is pretty good to see last season. Marky and Cass there, I feel that they're two very strong qualifiers, but sometimes fade in the race. Do you accept my assessment there, Alex?
I think you could probably say that there's areas to improve on in the race pace, that is. But I think it's just a question of obviously picking the battles and making sure you get through the field correctly, or cleanly, that is, as well. Then Aston Martin then for those two as well. Then that's going to be interesting stuff indeed. Both very quick drivers indeed, can definitely get themselves up into the top 10 in qualifying, and then powering on in the race. So we'll have to wait and see how Aston Martin are going to go in season 12.
Brabbit next off the board, finishing 4th in the championship last season, former silver champion then. And Brabbit, who very much, I keep saying, very similar to Troy's career path. Didn't do too well in his first full season in gold there, but my goodness me, his second season was absolutely incredible. So does that mean that Brabbit is a favourite for the championship this season? Potentially. And Coop, who I think Coop had a really good season last season, to be honest there. Really stepped up, Coop did, and was very much ever present in the midfield. But sadly the constructors did tail off a bit there in the end there when Coop was challenging with Percy, I think, for the Constructors' Championship, but sadly it just didn't go their way. And who is that? Oh, that's McLaren. And oh goodness me, I was definitely squinting there, Alex. I couldn't see who was which team was which.
It's the orange team there, Sean. You should be familiar with orange. But B Rabbit then, a fantastic season of pleasure to be his teammate, although he did most of the hard work last season for me in Alpine, that is. But moving to McLaren then, of course, and Coop then has been, like I said, another consistent and improved driver as well then for gold last season. Looking forward to seeing how they fare in McLaren.
Former champion Troy off the board then. Troy, he's been a shadow of his former self, really, hasn't he, Troy? Gosh, I'm very harsh tonight, don't I? It's because I haven't had any chicken nuggets yet. But Troy was a shadow of his former. My goodness me, though, I'm sure that those two drivers share quite a good rapport then. So Troy and Toy Coyne there, that's a very good lineup, I would say. Maybe if Troy can rediscover his past race winning speed, and Toy Coyne is ever present in qualifying now. Every time that we talk about, and and Troy returns to the Ferrari as well. I think he was in Ferrari in his first season with ALR. That's a very good team. I feel, well, every team's a very good team in gold then. But, I've got a good feeling about that one.
Oh, that's spicy. It's a spicy team then for Ferrari. Then that's going to be interesting stuff indeed. Two pretty quick drivers indeed, and that's going to be, I think, well, I'm not going to curse him. There we go. That's all I'll say.
I will pull it for you, Alex. Constructors champions. Legends is next off the board. Then Legends for me has improved. It's just got better and better as time's gone on in ALR Gold. Then, and I must say he's gone from. I think he's gone from not back marker as such, then, but around hovering around the back marker to more midfield now has Legends, and I feel that should have been probably in the shout for one of the most improved drivers of the season. And Indigo, remember his incredible performance in the United States leg of last season. He was incredible, wasn't he? Indigo was. He needs a bit more consistency, and we always hear about him really commiserating the qualifying for him there, but also in the RB as well. So I'm not going to show any bietism, I don't know. I'm not going to show any favoritism, but I feel that those two will do really well. I really hope so, anyway.
Well, Legends always there and thereabouts, of course, battling for the points as well, and of course, like I said, has been improving as he goes along. Then Indigo's got himself some fantastic podiums last season, and has been challenging for race wins in the last 2 seasons as well for gold. So looking forward to seeing how they fare for the Racing Bulls.
We've been talking about Immortal. We've been talking about Menace. What about Percy? Percy ran it close to Sam Swift most of last season before falling away towards the end. There is Percy the main challenger for Sam Swift. And I gotta say, I would love to see more drivers involved in the championship campaign. And certainly with a short season as well, it's going to be very interesting. It's not going to be about a slow burner. This one is it now? That is a very. I think Stincy was off the board, Alex, because I was getting so excited. Who's the second driver?
Mumford.
It was Mumford. I apologise, Mumford. And I should get excited. This is in the Haas as well. I should get excited. I know I'm getting too excited because Mumford, of course, a former gold racer, and of course one of the most experienced drivers in gold. Then Mumford has elevated himself. He's broken through that glass ceiling the last couple of seasons, and I do think this is a different Mumford from the one that raced in gold a few seasons ago. And I have got top half of the constructors. I reckon I'm going to go top 4. Chappers next off the board. Chappers, if the championship's based on qualifying last season, Alex, I think Chappers would have been in the top 10 at the very least. Sadly, the races didn't go too well for him. He very much one of the most unluckiest drivers in the entire field, sadly, then. And he's very unlucky because he's also got you as a teammate. Ha
Oh, he got me back there from the bronze draw. But yes, to be fair, you're right. Yes, I'm very sorry to yourself, Chappers, and looking forward to having you as a teammate. But yes, all the weight's going to be on your shoulders trying to carry the Williams team. So yeah, very good stuff indeed. Of course, Chappers then returning to the Williams team after last season, constructors champions of Williams. Then, so I'm sure we'll be going for the same once again. Don't you worry.
There's a lot of pressure on Williams, Alex. Of course, they are the most successful team in ALR in gold, then, along with Renault, of course. So I think that's going to be a challenging season for Williams this season. No disrespect to either driver, but I do feel there needs to be more points on the board. Then, gosh, I'm on fire, Alex. MHD is next off the board. I'm looking forward to MHD then because he showed some really good speed in silver, and I'm so happy that MHD has been given the nod to go into gold. I feel probably a regular podium sitter, potentially, certainly regular point scorer. Talking of regular point scorer, there's Keza as well. Keza became a bit bewildered with some of the racing towards the end of last season, Keza did. But do you think that this break is going to really refresh him? And what about MHD as well?
Looking forward to seeing MHD obviously on the grid because, like I said, I think he did about 14 to 16 races across silver and gold last season as a reserve, and was absolutely brilliant. So looking forward to seeing how he's going to fare for the Red Bull team. And of course, Keza then was, well, I'll keep putting him into the race reviews as in some sort of a way or so. But yes, looking forward to seeing what Keza can do. And hopefully, like I said, he has a better season than last season as well. Then I'm not sure it was his best season then from his point of view, that is.
Certainly wasn't, but there is one man who had a really good season. That's Sam Swift Ninja, a double world champion. As I mentioned, the first double world champion on the grid since Emerson back in season 7. I'm sure it's season 7 or 6. I can't remember now. It's so long ago. But Sam Swift Ninja, double world champion, and can he become the first ever triple world champion? And I got to say, the odds are very much in the favor of the champion. And of course, Cam as well. Cam had a really good, I think he had a really good flurries last season, Cam did, but it's all about consistency. And they'll be driving in the Sauber team then. And Sauber have never fared so well in ALR Gold before then. So they're hoping that with Sam Swift Ninja aboard, that they can really certainly lead the light then. Alex said, what are your thoughts on that?
Lovely team there, great lineup indeed. Then to finish off the draw then for gold then, but yeah, that's going to be a pretty formidable green machine then for gold season 12.
So there are our 20 drivers, and then that is all the drivers that have been drawn now. And I've basically predicted everyone is going to win the championship, and unfortunately, only one driver can. Then I cannot wait. It is going to be supreme stuff indeed. A week this week, then we'll be in action. Goodbye.